right now. Let's get her on the air here. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest of 2015 at this time is an indie pro wrestler. She's gonna be a part of a show called Pro Wrestling Syndicate. By the end of the month, I'm joined with Vanity. She is joined with me right now. Good evening, Vanity.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing real good, and thank you so much for being my first interview guest of the new year. Truly appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Well, I'm proud to be here.
Well, we're definitely going to get into the Pro Wrestling Syndicate appearance you have coming up by the end of the month. We're going to get into that a little bit later on, but first, I want to focus mostly on your career. What made you decide to become a wrestler? How did it all start off for you?
Well, that's a pretty funny story because when my mom got married to my stepdad, he always threw around names like Andre the Giant or like Hogan, people I never saw on TV. So when I officially started watching wrestling was with my grandfather in like 98. My first match I saw was against Undertaker and Mankind at King of the Ring, and instantly I just got hooked. And as a child, I was always athletic. I was on the track team. I always lifted. I was very flexible. I did dance, and wrestling has always been in the back of my mind, and I challenged myself and just loved it.
Undertaker versus Mankind, which very memorable match, and
Yeah.
and to this day I still can't believe that Mick Foley is still alive to talk about it. Man, when I saw that match, honestly,
I know.
I seen highlights of the match throughout the years, but I never seen the entire match until I got the WWE Network just to see it from start to
hmm
finish. And not only he was thrown from on top of the cell into the announcer table, but on that same match, later that match, he got chokeslammed through the cell and fell right in the middle of the ring. And I can remember Jim Ross screaming and yelling, "Will somebody please stop the damn match?" And I echoed those
Oh, yeah.
statements. And to me, I still can't believe he's still alive after that match, and he's still breathing to this day. It's just
Oh, neither can I. And he was actually at one of our shows a couple months back, and I was like, oh my gosh, you were my first match. Like, I remember because it was a pay-per-view, and everyone was screaming, and he got thrown off the steel cage, and I'm just yelling at my grandfather, oh my God, he's dead. He's dead. And, you know, with wrestling, it's not like boxing, and it's not like other combative stuff. And they were just like, tune in Monday for this and that, and it was the Attitude Era, so everyone was playing their character, and I just instantly got hooked with it.
and I give the man credit for guts and
Oh, yeah.
just willing. I understand you gotta perform and entertain for the fans, and that comes to the point when you gotta sacrifice yourself in order to entertain. But man, he may have went beyond that if you ask me. But again, kudos to the dude for doing what he had to do,
Definitely.
and he's a Hall of Famer not just because of one moment or match or the falls that he took, but a man that put a lot of hard work into performing and
hmm
entertain at the end of the day. Um, so what was it like going through the training process, getting trained, going to the training school, and just learning the moves? And what was it like going through that whole process?
Well, at first it was hard to find a school that, like, you know, trains girls or, like, you know, allows people to, you know, check out the school. So I hit up Pro Wrestling Syndicate, and they opened me with, like, wide open arms. They were just like, you can come down, train. And once I saw how they train, you know, the guys, how they are with with each other, I was 100% in it. And taking the first bump to learning how to run the ropes or whatever it was, I was just down to do it. And it just motivated me more to just keep working with the guys and learning more and learning the history of wrestling. Like I said, I only grew up with the Attitude Era. So I was introduced to Ric Flair and the Classics and Rick Rude, Sergeant Slaughter, Honky Tonk Man. They just beat so much history into me also. And I just loved it. I just stuck with it since then.
Do you remember your first ever wrestling match that you ever had, or better yet, your first wrestling appearance for that matter? And if so, what was the company, and who was your opponent or opponents were when you made your debut?
Well, I debuted a year and a half ago, I believe. And I did a promo. Who else was there? I believe... Oh, man. I remember. It was for Pro Wrestling Syndicate. And I just had to do a promo, and then, like, within a month or a month and a half later, I had my first match against Jennifer Cruz.
I'm definitely familiar. I'm definitely familiar with that name, Jennifer Cruz.
Yeah. It was my first bombshell show for PWS, and it was a good match.
Did you have any signs of butterflies? Were you nervous, like entering the match? You know, knowing that you performing in front of the audience.
I was really nervous. I didn't know what I was preparing myself for after I got out of the curtains. You know, I just wanted to destroy. That's the only thing that was in my head. It was just like destroy, destroy, destroy. Whatever you've learned at practice. Whatever you've, like, put on the line, you put your body on the line every day to go to training, this is what it's all built up for. So go show them what you got, and I just kept shaking behind the curtain. I was just like, I'm ready to go.
And how did you, now that you look back on it, you know, how do you feel like you have done from your wrestling career thus far, and what are some things that you look at that you feel you need to improve on?
Well, basically taking my time, but after the first match, you know, you get to watch over your stuff and, you know, watch your craft, watch how the fans are, and basically it was just taking my time and getting to know me, like who is Vanity? How do I want to show them who Vanity is?
I got you, most definitely. And
yeah, because you want to connect with the fans, but at the same time, you want to show them your real self, you know?
I definitely concur with that. And I know, you, like you said, you're just a year and a half in. You feel comfortable. You feel more comfortable now than you were when you first got started, and that's pretty much how it all starts. Like, you know, there's a lot of nerves. You know, you want to do well. You want to make a good impression, regardless of what character you play. And as of right now, by the looks of things, you feel good. You feel like I'm ready to go, and you only a year and a half in, and obviously things look very promising considering you're still working for Pro Wrestling Syndicate, and you're going to be a part of their show coming up on the 31st of January.
On the 31st in Rahway.
And go ahead and talk about that show, who's appearing, and do you know who you're going to be facing on that show?
Yes. I believe John Morrison's going to be there, Kurt Hawkins, a bunch of the PWS guys. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen between Falaba and Mario Baccara and Bonesaw. It's a very big lineup, and there's just so much action-packed stuff that's going on, so I don't want to give out too much stuff. I'd rather people come to the show and check it out.
All right, again, that's Pro Wrestling Syndicate Y'all go check that out on the 31st of January, Rahway, New Jersey. You can go to their Facebook fan page, Pro Wrestling Syndicate, for more info on the show. And it's definitely a show that you don't want to miss if you are anywhere near the area. So with the new year already here, we're about half a month in. Um, do you have any other upcoming shows, upcoming appearances you'd like to promote?
Well, right now I'm still working on bookings. I'm still training harder than ever. And I will definitely let you guys know on my Twitter, since I update that regularly now. And then that is Vanity OG Doll. But for bookings right now, I'm just worried about training and trying to get out there. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated.
Alright, so Vanity OG Doll, that's your Twitter handle. Make sure you go follow her. And like she said, she will let you know about the upcoming shows she has. Um, so you may have heard the news just this past Monday. It was reported on TMZ on Monday morning, or early morning afternoon for that matter, and it was later confirmed on Monday Night Raw this past Monday night. It's been long awaited, especially just, and this was before he passed away back in 2011. But the Macho Man Randy Savage has been named the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2015. My reaction is that it's well deserved for a guy who played a huge role in the WWF back in the golden era, and a guy whose voice is still popular to this day. It seems like everyone and anybody can do his impression, but just the talent that he was and the promos that he had and the colorful attire that he's been wearing throughout the years, and he's sorely missed by all the fans that got a chance to see him. What is your reaction to Macho Man Randy Savage being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I was pretty happy. It's about time. There's a lot of people out there that want to see, wrestlers that have paved the way make it into the WWE Hall of Fame, and I think that it's a great thing. And it's about time that he's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. People been wondering what took so long. My thing is that it's not like other Hall of Fames when they have ballots and people can vote. They don't have a committee, or WWE for that matter. They don't have no
Yeah.
committee. They don't have no ballot. It's just Vince just handpicking people and reach out to them, or family members for that matter. It's gonna be bittersweet because he's not here to accept this honor. So family members will accept this on his behalf. But we just need to remember what this guy is, and what he's done, and the impact he's made, and it's just an incredible. He was a total package as far as skills and promos, and if there's any aspiring wrestlers that really wants to get into the business and want to learn from someone, not try to copy that person, but just learn for how this person performed, you definitely look into the Macho Man, and I definitely will be watching the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, of course, on the WWE Network for $9.99. I just had to get that out there, but cheap plug for that matter. But back to you for a moment. You said you're going to be training more. You're trying to book more shows. If you can have a dream match, it could be against anyone, male, female, indie or pro, what would your dream match be? Who would your opponent be for this dream match?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, hmm. Well, for the girls, I'd have to say Athena. 'Cause I've been watching. She's caught my eye a lot. Athena and Candice LeRae. And for the guy, I'll answer that too. Probably the Green Ant.
Mm.
Yeah.
The Green Ant, definitely someone to keep an eye on for sure. And Athena, who I think it would be fair to say she's definitely grown to become the top African American female wrestler out right now. I mean, just how she is done for for the Texas area, and
Mhm.
that's a big pond. Wrestling in Texas, and I feel like she's not only top wrestler, female wrestler in Texas. She may be the top wrestler, male, female in Texas right now. And you being African American, and there's not that many African American females um, that I can know of. Athena, obviously, Kong, who's now back on Impact Wrestling as of last week. Of course, Alicia Fox and Naomi and Karen. Alicia Fox. Like, what's your reaction to not so many, African Americans, females being part of wrestling? Do you think it's because of the physicality that comes along with it, or do you think there's something more to it?
Well, I mean, I think anybody can pursue their dream, whether you were African American or not. So it all depends on that person. Like, do you have the willpower? Do you have what it takes to follow your dreams and really dedicate yourself to what you want to become? But over the years, I've seen a lot of more African American girls come into the business, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy that that's expanding, especially with, Alicia Fox and Naomi showing their sides. Back then, we had Jazz, we had Jacqueline, we had Ivory. We had a couple girls, too, but right now, the numbers are starting to grow, and I'm happy with it.
Oh, and and I almost forgot to mention Jazz and Jacqueline as well, just especially coming from the Attitude Era and the matches that Jazz had with Trish, and just
Mhm.
it was just unbelievable stuff right there. And obviously, female wrestling in indies has become more watchable than the ones you see from the pros, if you will. With the success of Shine and of course WSU and Valkyrie. I'm sure you are familiar with that company. They just debuted last year. They're starting to elevate, if you will. Um, and before I let you go, Vanity, uh, my last question for you is, and I know you're just a year and a half into your career, but what would your advice be to anyone that wants to become a wrestler? What would your advice be?
Give 100% from the beginning, and definitely be humble. Nothing in life is easy, but you always have to ask yourself, like, is this something that you want? And if the answer is yes, then you can give yourself 100% because there's someone else at least giving 110% or 120. Nothing in life is easy, so if you want it, go all out and go get it.
So, Vanity, I want to take this time and thank you once again for being my first guest of 2015. I truly appreciate it. And best of success goes out to you. Um, you was talking about some up and coming appearances earlier, and are you gonna be doing a custom shoot for a company named New England Females Wrestling?
Yes, I am. They just contacted me like at the end of last year, so we're going to be doing some custom shoots pretty soon, and I'll definitely be at all the Pro Wrestling Syndicate events.
Oh,
And as like I said for bookings, I'm definitely getting out there. It's just taking some time, and I'll definitely let you guys know.
all right. So, I guess they have not announced the day and the month that you're gonna be a part of. They just noticed that you're gonna be in a future custom shoot. So keep an
Yeah.
eye on New England Females Wrestling, and once they announce which month she will be a part of, you can book her some matches, and she got a chance to go up against some of the biggest names in female wrestling. So go keep a closer eye on that. But for the time being, January 31st, Pro Wrestling Syndicate in Rahway, New Jersey. Go check it out. Vanity will be there. And Vanity OG Doll is her Twitter name. Go follow her on Twitter. And thank you again for your time, Vanity. Continued success. And again,
Oh,
thank you for being on the show.
thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
You have a good night.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. That was